This is the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan 2014. May Allah accept your prayer and your fasting. And may Allah consider us of His sincere servants. As we read in the hadith, إن أدنى ما للصائمين والصائمات أن يناديهم ملك في آخر يوم من شهر رمضان أبشروا عباد الله فقد غفر لكم ما سلف من ذنوبكم فانظروا كيف تكونون فيما تستأنفون. Inshallah, we are of those people who hear the voice of that angel giving us this good news that we are forgiven at the end of this holy month of Ramadan, and warning us to be careful about a new beginning and how we can continue to protect our soul. One of the wajibat at the end of Ramadan, the Eid, is of course Zakatul Fitra, that is Zakatul Abdan and not Zakatul Amwal. It is for our body. We fasted and now we share some little charity. لا يجب على الفقير الذي لا يملك قوت سنته. This is not for poor people who cannot even survive out of their annual income. But for everybody else, it is a wajib to pay this zakat before Eid al-Fitr. That means on the first day of Eid, on Monday, when you come for prayer, the first thing is to ada zakat. It's interesting that 32 times the word of zakat is mentioned in the Quran. 28 times it is mentioned with salat. Most of the time. أقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. Even in Ayatul Walaya, إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. Related to the charity that Imam Ali alayhi salam did when he was in position of ruku' and a poor person came, and while the Imam was in the salat, he mixed the salat with zakat. That is the highest level, of course. For us, salat and zakat come next to one another. But for somebody like Imam Ali, they are together. They are not even separate. His salat is not separate from his zakat is not separate from his salat, together. When we go to the Quran, there are so many cases. Nabi Isa alayhi salam, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا. God blessed me and He ordered me two things: my prayer and my charity. بني الإسلام على خمس على الصلاة والزكاة والصوم والحج والولاية ولم ينادى بشيء كما نودي بالولاية. These are 5 foundations of Islam: our prayer, our fast, our hajj, our charity, and of course al-wilayah, the authority of Allah, the authority of the Holy Prophet, and the continuity of this authority in the family of the Prophet. Sometimes the Quran uses different terms for charity, like sadaqah, إنما الصدقات, And also we have it in a hadith, as-sadaqatu junnatun azimatun min an-nar. Sadaqah is a protection from fire of hell. As-sadaqatu tazidu fil mal. Charity, sadaqah, which is the word of sadaqah, comes from sidq, means honesty. That means you show the honesty of your faith through your charity. I mean, salat is important, it takes time. But for many of us, we are ready to pray like 1,000 rak'ah. But when it comes to paying $1,000, that's not as easy, right? Even if you have it, it's a very hard thing to do. Da'u marlakum bis-sadaqah. Even cure your illness with sadaqah. So charity sometimes is called zakat, sometimes it's called sadaqah. Even in marriage, you know, when we, the sheikh, we perform the marriage, it says, zawajtu muwakkilati fulan muwakkili fulan ala sadaq al-ma'lum. Sadaq means that the husband shows his honesty in this relationship with committing himself of the dowry. So sadaq is alamat al-sidq al-zawj, that he is serious about this relationship. Sometimes charity is mentioned in the Quran in the word khums. So zakat is sadaqah is khums. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ خُمُسَهُ وَلِلرَّسُولِ وَلِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ. That is 20% of our saving, not our income. 20% of our saving is a charity that should be used for different ways that are mentioned in the Quran or Hadith, that and our fuqaha or maraji also mentioned. Like if you go to fiqh sharia, how should we use the khums money? Like marhum sahib fiqh sharia, it says, al-ula badlu sahm al-imam fi kulli ma fihi nashrun li ta'alim al-islam ومنها تمويل مراكز الدعوة والتبليغ وإعداد العلماء والمبلغين وإنشاء الجامعات وطباعة الكتب والمشاريع الحيوية للمسلمين من مدارس ومستشفيات ومعاهد علمية وكذلك مساعدة الضعفاء والفقراء بالمال. So that is the way that you spend khums money. You spread the teachings of Islam, you support the da'wah work, you raise the speakers, the people who can serve the faith and community, you establish mosques, you establish universities, you publish books, you make projects that are useful for people, and of course, madaris, university, and of course the helping the poor is part of that as well. One of the cases of spending zakat is now the case in Gaza, for example. That is one case that we can help. And today is the International Day of Al-Quds, and day of prayer and solidarity for our brothers and sisters who are madlumun, they are oppressed, under injustice, under occupation and oppression. Even now, the State Department saying that it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Stop it. United Nations called it war crimes. What Israelis are doing in Gaza is considered to be war crimes by United Nations. The Israelis are intoxicated with their money, with their military, with their media, with the veto they have American government in Security Council and use this veto power to save Israel anytime there is an investigation, anything that may hurt the Israeli regime. The veto is used in United Nations, and Israel knows that. Because of that, they don't care. They don't care about international laws, about Geneva Conventions, about investigations of United Nations. They don't care. They do not let any investigations, and if under force investigation was done, they ignore it. Don't care about it. A racist rabbi who lives in one of those illegal settlements in West Bank issued a fatwa, a ruling, just a couple of days ago. He said based on the Torah's teaching, it's okay for the Israeli army to destroy the entire Gaza and to kill all people. They said, even the innocent? He said, yeah, even the innocent. If such a thing is important for security of Israel, even the death and destruction of innocent people is okay. Is a rabbi talking like that? I'm not saying all the rabbis are like that. Not all of them are as insane and crazy and criminal like this. But there are extremists. We have some extremists among us too. The guy who claims to be Khalifatul Muslimin now in Iraq, called himself Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. He is hijacking our faith under the title of Islamic State as much as Netanyahu is hijacking Judaism under the Jewish state. Netanyahu says Jewish state and Baghdadi says Islamic state. They are talking about the same concept. One is Judaism, one is Islam. These two faith traditions are hijacked in the Middle East. And neither Baghdadi nor Netanyahu represent their faith traditions. Both lie. Both look for power, money, and domination. And religion means nothing for these individuals. While the sincere groups in the Muslim world are helping the Gaza people. Now the forces in Iraq and Syria have to deal with those criminals who steal, who kill, who destroy, who corrupt, who occupy. And they do all this in the name of religion, destroying the resources. So they are same concept. And this is a tragedy in the Muslim world now. So many crises in Libya, in Egypt, in Iraq, in Syria, in Afghanistan. These criminals, yesterday they killed Arus and Aris, a groom and bride with 14 people in Afghanistan. They were driving towards Kabul to spend Eid al-Fitr in Kabul. They stopped them and they killed them. They just married. So under the Taliban, under religion, is a big musibah. Extremism, poverty, ignorance, corruption, division, shaitan. Big powers all combined together. And they brought this complex, this chaos, this confusion. And the price is paid by poor people in Gaza. and some other areas. A big joke that is not only a joke, but an attack on integrity of humanity was a bayan, an expression by the Israeli ambassador in Washington, D.C. just a couple of days ago, this Ron Derby. He said that the Israeli army should be given a Nobel Peace Prize for unimaginable restraints in Gaza. I was shocked. The Israeli army should be given a Nobel Peace Prize? Prize for what? For war crimes? You give this prize to criminals? You would give the Nobel Peace Prize to people who practice insanity? It's absolute insanity. When Albert Einstein defined junoon and insanity, he said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. This is what the Israelis are doing. How many times? Oh, we won because the Gaza, the Hamas, they are using a rocket. What about the time that they didn't have any rocket? They had only a stone. They were killing, you were killing them at that time too. What about the area seen in 1948? Did they have rocket at that time and missile at that time? Big, big lies. And now just accusing Hezbollah now, and accusing Iran, and accusing this and that. And they are our enemies. No, your enemies are your injustice. Your enemy is your occupation. Your enemy is your oppression. And brothers and sisters, it is time for the world to wake up, to speak up against this corruption and injustice. Whether in the Israeli side or whether in the Islamic extremism side, Jewish extremism, Islamic extremism, Christian extremism, any kind of extremism and radicalization and crime. Now we hear about Mosul, that the Christians were told that either convert or pay or die or leave. No Christians were killed, fortunately so far, but they were forced to leave their city and their house. And they were not allowed to take any money with them. They are big, big businessmen. They have so much gold, you know, the business of gold in Mosul, and big businesses. And these Daesh guys, they forced them that if you want to leave, you cannot take anything with you. They are shame for Islam and shame for humanity of doing the same thing that the Sahayna are doing. What is the difference? At least in Sahayna, you know that you are dealing with an external enemies. But here, you are dealing with people that they do this under La ilaha illallah, under Muhammad Rasulullah. But if you say it is not acceptable, so it's not about Shia Sunni anymore either, brothers and sisters. Just in the last couple of days, so many of Sunni imams were killed in Mosul because they disagreed with these criminals and insane people. We need more wisdom. We need better role model in politics and in religion. I was so proud to check the website of United Nations yesterday, and I saw that Ban Ki-moon, the General Secretary of United Nations, He met with Ayatollah Sistani in Najaf. And look at what he wrote in his website of United Nations. Go and check it. He said, I'm extremely honored to meet a man of deepest wisdom, tolerance, inspiration, a great role model, who is against the sectarian division. He never divided people in Iraq between Shia and Sunni. They are all Muslims, Christians, citizens of the same country. Even when the country became under attack, he said, you have to defend the sovereignty of this land with unity, with cooperation with the Iraqi army. It's not a chaotic that anybody stand up and anybody kill anybody. So this is the kind of role model and leadership with wisdom and understanding and sense of dignity that's needed for this work. Shame on those rulers who are able to do something about Gaza. All these kings with these trillions of dollars, and they are silent. Their silence is one of the serious sins of our century. How can be? You were worried about the Iraqi people that were trying, that they were oppressed. And now, more than 6,000 people in almost 2 weeks were either killed or wounded in a small area of Gaza. 12,000 houses were either totally or partially destroyed and damaged. The school, the mosque, the hospital, ambulances, even United Nations shelters, the doctors, babies, everybody under attack. They said, leave your house, you want to bomb your house. So where do you want to go? No exit on the air or land or sea. Where do you want these poor people to go? And even if the children are on the beach, they are playing, you target them. To be silent in such a breaking heart situation and shocking, and still claim that they are Muslims, they are Arab, they care for Shia or Sunni, they care for anything, shame on them for their silence. So today, as the day of God's brothers and sisters, our message, I wrote something for Detroit News. They said they are going to publish an article, my feeling about Gaza situation in the Middle East. Well, there are marches, there are ways of expressing your feeling, writing it, outreach, communicating with the congressman, although they already know everything. But still, whatever we can, through interfaith, through Facebook, online, website, whatever vehicles and tools available, financial, if we can help somehow through United Nations, or now the babies who are the أوائل الشهداء في غزة, أوائل الشهداء في العراق Syria, that is babies who lost their parents. Somebody should take care of them. If somebody take care of those children who have no support, the custody of those children, I don't know the legality and technicality, but that's one way to show our support in any way, because that was the message of the martyr of Ramadan, Imam Ali alayhi salam, kuna lil-zalimi hasman wa lil-madlum awna. Stand against the oppressors and support the oppressed. Oppressed, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim, if they are oppressed. Because Gaza is not about Islam and Judaism, it's about justice and injustice. Between occupation and liberation. Between al-haq wal-batil, truth and false. And we are human beings before affiliation with any religion. So we need to help the world to wake up, to show anger and outrage. The media, the governments, the communities, the people of faith, and to say enough is enough. What else you want from these people? You already got their land, you already got their job, you already deprived them from any opportunity, from education, now from water, from food, from medicine. Enough is enough, stop it! And at the same time we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help the people, the Madlumin in Gaza, everywhere. And we ask him to يعذب المنافقين والمنافقات, to punish those hypocrites, those terrorists, those who are destroying the resources of this ummah that instead of being used in the right time and right place, they are wasting it because of their desires, because of their ego, because of their shahwat, because of their hubb al-dunya. They ignored everything. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على